we from my wall, so standing test of time. I got you, you got me. I'm so thankful that you're mine. You're mine. Makes me wonder why did it take so long for us to meet and take our seats on this journey that comes with song. You know I'm proud of you. I'm always proud of you. You could go on and this long set you free. Living a life is in perpetual bliss.
Hi, welcome to the Mary.MotherTrucker Out of My Zone podcast. Thank you for coming. I would like to say that I did have a very special guest tonight, but was not able to have him on. It is 2 a.m. where he is from, but I do want to spotlight the Wolfpack. I met the Wolfpack on TikTok. They're amazing. They are so amazing. Wolfie has created a whole community. Laura, Rebel, there's a ton of them. And what they do is they have kind of like an outreach is what they do. It's an open platform. They have set days that they have events for anyone that is struggling, anyone with mental health issues, men's mental health issues, women's, the door's wide open. They have created so many bonds. And when I tell you, when I went into their lives, it's very, very welcoming. Um, Whenever you go through mental health in your life, sometimes you don't have outlets. You can never have enough safe spaces. You can never have enough outreaches. You can never, ever have enough because someone may resonate with me, someone may not resonate with me, and then they can go to the next person, and then the next person, and then so on and so forth. And it's just a lot of connections and a lot of bonds that you're creating. And the Wolfpack, if you do not know who they are, please go follow them on TikTok. It's Wolfie. He is on TikTok, and they have a whole community that is amazing people, beautiful stories. A lot of it is, trauma and recovery and learning how to self heal. And then you bring in, meditation. A lot of times, even through my trauma, I didn't even know meditation was a thing. I know that I'm older, but whenever I kind of went into my spiritual awakening in my journey, I had an amazing group of people with me, Christina being one of them. And she is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, she's an amazing person. She is an amazing mother. Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. Thank you for coming in, Queen. I do appreciate it. And she was there with me when I was going through mine, and I just didn't know how to navigate through it. So, whenever you have people that you connect with that they may know something that you don't know, open up to them. They're safe spaces. They are people that can really, truly help you heal. And like having and like social media, purposeful media is what we're really wanting to create. So everyone has somewhere to go at any given time, day, night, evening, way early in the morning times. There's people out there, you guys. You do not have to do it alone. And the Wolf Pack,
Exactly.
they are one of them. They literally are so welcoming. Because thank you so much for coming in here. It does mean a lot to me that you're here. Lachelle, thank you for coming in. Queen, it means so much to me. Everyone goes through something in their life, whether it's trauma, emotional, physical, whatever it may be. A lot of times it's suppressed because we don't want to reach out. We don't want to communicate. We just kind of go with society and we become very robotic. Whenever I kind of started opening up more and wanting to be more open, TikTok was a refuge for me. And there's so many stories. Christina, she has her own story. It's absolutely beautiful. And I know that it's healed her. There's so
Yep.
many bonds that we have created. That's it's not just a follow for a follow. Even on our Elevate Souls Productions network. It's more than just networking. It's
Right.
bonds, it's relationships, it's connections, real connections with real people that understand, and some that don't will eventually. That's the beauty in it.
Yeah.
So I
And
just
I,
really wanted to highlight the wolf pack, even though he's not here tonight. I still want to show lots of love and gratitude because they have helped me with my healing, with my journey, watching them and how they just welcome you. And it's like a deep breath of fresh air to be able to find people like that. And when you find them, keep them. Christina,
so thank you for having me on your show,
of
Mary.
course,
I'm
of
so glad to
course.
be back on a screen with you, girl. And I know this
I know.
community is happy to see us together like sisters for life.
For life.
I kind of want to hit on a little bit of what you were saying. With Elevate Souls, Mary, Kev, and myself, we all came together, right? And we said, we want to do something for the community. And we came up with this name because it's true to our cores. Elevate souls, elevate your soul. If you elevate your soul, you elevate your life, right? And we are just trying to do something for our community and even the people who come into our communities that we come into. It's just, this is how we change the world, right? Because we come and we give people a place that they can give out their information, be their true authentic self, tell their stories, share other inspiring motivators or communities or charities, anything like that with us. And Mary, that's kind of what your show is about, as we got to see with Blessings for Bosie last week, right? You're wanting to highlight the charities. What all do you as a podcaster want to be able to do for your community with that, as far as showing charities and so and whatnot?
Well, what I want to do is a lot of times whenever you are going to start a charity or a nonprofit, the process is very hard. It's not an easy road. And it's not to make money off of it. It's to give back. You know what
Right.
I mean? To really want to give back. And whenever you have a group of people who are, a small charity and they're not recognized, right? Because I no offense to anybody who is, a bigger corporation or, anything like that that is charitable. What I want to highlight is the ones that are missed, that
Right.
truly do want to help and create change. Because I feel like everyone needs to be seen, whether it's big or whether it's small. If you're just now coming off, off of the ground and you're literally building from the dirt up, I want to hear your stories. I want to hear what is inspiring you to want to create change, love, kindness, and to help the next person. And like Blessings for Bosie, absolutely a beautiful story. She's an amazing woman and she's been through things, and it is a very brand new foundation that she's created. And she's
That's
turned
blown up overnight.
absolutely something so that could be very trauma. You don't know how to release those emotions because she did say she wasn't sure how to handle all of it, so she
Right.
did meditation and she did a lot of the spiritual side of things and asking, what do I need to do, where do I need to go, and she did that alone to where she can block everything else out, the day, whatever is going on in your life, everything she blocked out, and this was her direction. So that's why I
Right.
really wanted to highlight that, because it's important. It's going into school systems. Very beautiful. And there's going to be an update sometime in November, you guys. She is going to come back on the Out of My Zone podcast for that. It is going into our school systems. She has two of them. I
Right.
mean, what more? You know what I mean? To stop the generational curses, to have understanding, to have that knowledge, to, you know, bring awareness, have that outreach for our youth. We need
Right.
that so desperately. And I want to know more. I want to find more. So if you are a small charity and if you want me to contact you, reach out to me because I want to hear your story. I want to know. And it should be seen by the world.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you on that. We want to get people out here with you on the screen so that, I mean, when we broadcast this out, it's out forever, right? People can always see it. The internet does not disappear. Um, you said you want to hear their stories. I think tonight, since we didn't get to talk to Wolfie and his pack, we want to hear your story, Mary.
Okay, great. Let's go.
Obviously, being your sister, I already know your story, but
Yeah.
we have such a good community and it's ever expanding. And I think that they should know, where did Mary come from? What made Mary want to go down this path and to help these people? Like, what got you here?
Well, Christina, to be completely honest, I did not have a dad growing up. He was not in my life. Um, he was not, which is my mom's story to tell, but I love my mom and we have had our battles. It doesn't make me love her any less. But for me, it was my mom and my brother for a lot of our growing up years, and my grandma and my grandpa. And then, of course, my Uncle Edward. He took the spot of my dad's role.
Mhm.
Um, so I see a lot of trauma growing up from family members abusing family members, and then it rolled over into trauma for myself at age 5. Um, so when you're that young, you don't know how to categorize anything. You're literally a baby learning, and my environment, I wouldn't say was very, very horrible, but it was very trauma. It was trauma for me.
Right.
Um, so as I went through my years, I didn't know anything other than catering to or bending or shaping myself to fit someone else's idea or version of how I should be, or silence myself. And that's what I did. And then it rolled over into me being a teen mom. And I became a teen mom at the age of 18 when I had my oldest daughter. And then I continued to have kids at a very young age, and they were very close together. So I have 6 kids, and I don't know how to mom, but I was learning day by day. And then a lot of DV things happened um, within that time period, and it was over a 10-year time period. Um, So feeling very lost and vulnerable and needing to heal, but I had to keep my foot on the pedal.
Right.
There was no slowing down. I had to keep going, working 2 jobs at sometimes, getting to work at 3 to 11, then rolling over into the night shift. So 3 to 11 all the way until 7 a.m. in the morning. So 3 p.m. the day before till 7 a.m. the morning after.
Wow.
Those 2 shifts. Um, and that was very difficult. And I did that for a really long time. And then I couldn't. I was sleep deprived. I couldn't be a mom. I couldn't do a lot of different things. Um, so I had to kind of switch that aspect up. But basically, the people that were in my life, there were good and then there were bad. And I had to step outside that box to know what I wanted, to know what my worth was. And it was very hard, and it broke me in a lot of instances. And when you're a mom, you don't want to show your kids that you're crying. You don't want to show your kids that you're hurting. You just want to be that anchor for them. But you can't hide it all. They see it, they go through it. And my kids did go through a lot of hurt and pain because I wasn't knowledgeable on meditating, or breathing exercises, or listening, just listening to my kids. Um so you're a parent, you're not always right. Just because you're a mom, you're not always right. You have to be it's like a very balancing beam, you know, you have to be willing to hear your kids.
Yeah. And
So for me, I'm
I'm
sorry, Christina.
no, you're fine. I love being able to just sit and go back and forth with you, but you're hitting on something that I feel like so many of your viewers they relate to it, right? Because as parents, we don't get handed a handbook that says this is how you raise your child to make them a perfect human being, right? Because all
Right.
human beings are perfectly imperfect, first of all. But second of all, we grow through our journey. And a lot of times I talk to people, and especially younger people who haven't been able to gain the life knowledge that we gain as we grow. And they say, well, my parents did this or my parents did that. And my answer to that is our parents did the best that they could with what they had, with the knowledge that they had at the time. So love them for what they were able to give you and appreciate that they've been able to grow and give you more. And I mean, in your instance, being a single mom, raising children, working multiple jobs, just trying to slave through it basically. And, to be able to come out with facing your traumas, and now you're on a road to helping others face their traumas, and you've got a grandbaby, and, you know, you were able to do exactly what I just said. You were able to grow through it. Like, that's an accomplishment in yourself. And you should be proud of that. So proud of that.
I am, Christina. I am. And to actually verbalize it and even just looking in the mirror and saying, hey, you're worth it. You're doing it. You've done it. You've been through it. And even if the storm isn't over with, I don't want to stay stagnant. I want to reach out. I want to, if I'm feeling a type of way, there, like I said, the community is, huge, and
Right.
there's a lot of people that if I was to call and say, hey, I'm just going through something right now. Can you sit with me? Can you just be here with me? And they will.
Yeah.
And that's the love and the kindness the world needs um all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, the learning never stops. I don't stop learning to be a mom. I don't stop learning to be a good human or a good um, business owner. I don't stop learning, and just to be able to take pride out of it, because a lot of times it's hard to take the pride out of things. And when you're able to do that, you become aware, you become, I don't really want to say awake, but you're not clouded. You can learn to work together, and that's what the world needs more of.
Right.
Basically, for me, everything that I went through in my life shaped me to who I am today, the woman that I am now. And do I make the right decisions every time? No.
Of
But
course we don't.
do I own up to them? Yes. It may not be on everyone else's time, but I know in my heart that it's a learning process no matter what.
Right.
And so everything that I went through to this point, I just want to serve. I want to give back because I lived it. I lived struggling for groceries. I lived being homeless. I lived worrying about if I'm going to get, it makes me a little bit emotional. I'm so sorry.
No,
Worrying if
it's
I'm going to get
okay. That's what we're
school
here
clothes
for, is
for
to
my
show people
kids.
that we're human, right? And that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. That's what you tell us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'm, those struggles, I want to just brighten someone else's day who may be going through that and say, hey, let's go here. I'm going to help you. I'm going to fill your house up with groceries. I'm going to do this for your kids. And it's more than that. Like, I want to drive a semi truck around and, have a whole outreach for the communities, rural communities being my number one, but I don't want to miss,
Right.
so
Which I'm going to ask you about that in just a little bit. But we have some curious audience members that have a couple questions. And sounds like some of them want to dive deep, Mary.
okay.
So the first one is Aware and Rise. And they ask, what has been your biggest challenge raising kids alone in the last 5 years?
Um, in the last 5 years, I wouldn't say I raised them alone because I was not alone at the time. I was married at the time. But even in the sense, it was difficult. It wasn't hard. There was a lot of back and forth, especially if you're in a relationship, right? And there's tension or if there's misunderstandings. And a lot of times you don't want to press that out to your kids and you want to try to work it out between the two and then not to the kids. But it started to become more like all the time, I guess you would say. And that was difficult, you know. Because a lot of times the kids would, they're in sports and they have things that they're doing, and then whenever you have five, 6 kids, they have friends, and then you accumulate a whole football team, because I became Mama Mary to everyone else in the neighborhood, and I loved it. It was amazing. We had very amazing times, but was it hard? Yes. Did I want to give up sometimes? Yes. Did I cry in the shower? Yes. But did I stop? No, I didn't.
Yeah. I don't think as single moms we know how to stop.
No,
We just we have that toughness in us that we just persevere through anything because
right.
the love of our kids, just pushes us to that point.
Yeah. But Christina,
um,
you know what I mean. If you're in a relationship that's just on like a teeter-tottering
yeah.
balance, you
Yep.
feel alone. So in the
Yeah.
aspect of aware and rise, yes and no, on the alone part, but did I feel alone? Yes.
A lot of times, when we're dealing with our traumas and we're learning how to do our shadow work and things of that nature, we could be in a room full of people and we do feel alone because, that experience is ours. It's our intimate experience, and people don't ever have the ability to understand your true emotions that you're feeling, that you're going through, the things that you're having to learn to resonate with, even if it's something you didn't want to have to resonate with. And um, that's why I know you create a safe space on TikTok for people, as you were talking about Wolfie does. And I love that the little safe spaces all over TikTok, they always seem to find each other, and they always
Yeah.
seem to be able to bond. But I know that that's part of why you formed your safe space, is because you wanted people with those experiences to know that they had somewhere to come and to be heard and just be able to get their voice out there. Even if people didn't understand what they were going through, they were able to get it out. And that's the most important part, which I feel like this goes right into the next question that we had. It comes from Lachelle. She says, did you ever have the option to receive therapy? And how do you feel about therapy based on your experiences?
Um, Therapy, yes, I did have the option for therapy. I did go through therapy. Um, and that is really hard. It just has to be the person. It just has to be, if it helps you, it helps you. Stay with it. Don't stop. If it's not something that is for you, maybe switch, look around and see if that'll help you. But for me, I tried to do it. I was very open to it. Did it help? Not really. It really didn't. I don't know the resources back then, but it just seemed very little. So I had just turned to singing, music therapy, and my grandmother. My grandmother was my rock. She shaped me. She listened to me. She heard what I was saying, and I was never judged by her. And this is a very soft topic for me, you guys, so I'm so sorry. But if you have someone in your life like that, keep them close, because I miss her every day. But she was like my therapist, my grandmother, my best friend, my hero, my angel on earth. My journal. She just was everything to me. But growing up, and having kids, and then having them go through therapy, that was hard, because In certain instances, my kids, they did go through some really hard times, and they did do therapy, but it didn't help on
Right.
the level that it should have helped. So I had to switch, and then it just became like it was more trauma to them to keep having to like reopen up and reopen up, and they just shut down. And um, but definitely, if it's something for you, stick with it. But if it's not,
Yeah.
there are other avenues that you can go to, and you can
And
reach out to a
exactly.
lot of
And I
places.
want to, I just kind of want to throw this out there real quick. You know, the question of receiving therapy and your therapy based experience, based on experiences. Therapy for every individual is different. And I know that you know this, sister, that I'm speaking as somebody who went to school for it and somebody who's been
Yes.
through lots of it. But it's not only based on the person going through therapy, it's based on the therapist as well, right? Because we have
Right.
two people. And if you are not able to openly communicate with that person that you're trying to learn from, um, that makes it hard to tackle those traumas and fears and things. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that, this is kind of, for the people who don't know, this is kind of how Mary and I met, right? We met on TikTok because I was
Mm-hmm.
going through some stuff and my therapist was not working for me. And I turned to TikTok, and that's how I
Yes.
ended up doing things. And in turn, Mary kind of became my therapist. She was someone I went on her live every night and I shared my story with, and she helped me through it. And that's why Mary has her safe space now. And I have my space for people to come and get spiritual and mental health holistic healing. And that's why we work so well together as a
Mm-hmm.
team, because being able to bring these different aspects to people without them having to pay for the resources or, have the insurance or pay the copays or do all the things, that's exactly what we are here to do, what we do.
Right.
Um, and I know so many people have benefited from us. Mary and I used to say, if we could just change one life tonight, we
Yep.
made a difference. And we do. We do it every day, and I love it. There are some more questions. I'm going to bounce around on them a little bit because I want to kind of make sure we get them in with what we're already talking about. First of all, Lachelle said, thank you for sharing that. And
You're
then
welcome.
Aware and Rise asked, how did losing your grandmother affect you long term?
Mike, that is a very, you know me, and you know where my heart's at on that one. Um, so I don't like to get very emotional, but no matter how long it's been, the grieving never stops. It's just waking up, being thankful and grateful for the memories and keeping them alive. And that's what I do. But losing her long term affected me in so many ways.
It's okay. We're
Milestones
here for
that
you. Take it slow, sweetie. It's okay. I already know. But this is how people understand that there's humans up under these people who are helping people every day, right?
right, milestones that she's missed, and I feel her, around still. But going through something and not being able to call her or hear her voice or hug her or love her, that has affected me tremendously. She was the foundation. She was the glue. She was just everything. It's what our family was built on, and my papa too. And I love him, but my grandmother, if it was said, it was done. We had Christmas every year at her house. We had Easter dinners. We had Thanksgiving dinners, all at my grandparents' house. And no matter what bad was happening in my life, and it was bad, she always made me feel like all of that was over here, and she just pulled me to the forefront. And My mom, she was the only girl out of six kids. My grandparents had six kids too. And they had lost one, my uncle Bobby, from SIDS. They didn't know what it was back then, and they weren't, brought awareness to it or understood it, and so they raised five, and my mom was the only girl. So, seeing her go through the loss, and as bad as it hurt me and it affected me, it really affected my mom,
Yeah.
and she's just not been the same since. I love my mother very much, but she's not been the same. And it's been over 10 years. She, got her angel wings in 2008. So it's been a long time, and the emotions still can come at the drop of a dime because I still love her.
Right.
Probably more today than 15 years ago. And I miss her, but it's just affected me in so many different ways. Her being able to have Christmases and see us and birthdays and just go into her house, and I just miss all of it. And our family, it just shifted when she passed away. So the closeness was gone. We've tried, but we don't
She
really
was
have
the
family
glue.
gatherings. Yep, we don't have family gatherings, and I really, really hate to say this, Christina, but I am going to say it on this podcast. Whenever we come together now, it's not because of a happy time. It's not
Right.
because we want to. The last time we all came together was at my Uncle Edward's funeral,
Yeah.
and that was in 2014. Missing a few of the family, but most of them were there. Do I take joy in that? No.
Of
But
course
losing
not.
her impacted it tremendously in my life.
I completely understand. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of y'all already know what I'm going through with my mother. And that woman is the glue to this world. um, and I know I don't know the pain yet, but watching my mom go through her own grief of what she's going through is so hard. And knowing that it's going to affect me 100 times more than what I feel watching her go through her grief of her loss. Um, I don't even know how I'm going to survive without that woman. But we get through it with friends and with coming out and talking about it and knowing that it's okay to not be okay sometimes. It's okay to go through that grief process, you know, and to know that we have such beautiful people that are around us. And I thank you for sharing your story with our family.
Absolutely.
There was a couple of other questions. Look, they're doing my job for me tonight. I ain't even got to work. So we've got this one right here. It says, what has been your biggest fear on this journey?
Oh, wow. Um, Failing.
I can see that, as a single mom who learns to carry the world on your shoulders and do everything on your own, failure's not an option.
Nope. And that's probably the biggest is failing.
But again, with what I just said, you're surrounded by beautiful family, and we're all here for you. We all love you, and we're not gonna let you fall. No
That's
fallen
why
angels here, just angels.
that's why it's like so beautiful. My life has changed for the better because of an app on a phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
I think you and I have actually had this conversation where we said that we feel that these people on the other side of TikTok, on the other side of YouTube now, and, all these other apps that we broadcast out to, sometimes they reach out to us before our own family members do.
Yeah.
And that's amazing to know that we have that.
Right. It's beautiful. And I've said this, and I'll say it, and I'll keep saying it over and over until I'm just blue in the face. We love, right? We do love.
Yeah.
But whenever you can resonate with someone thousands of miles away,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And it just clicks. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Friends, relationships, bonds with
Anything, yeah.
people, anything. And more than you can with someone that is 2 blocks away from you
Yeah.
is powerful. And I will forever ever be thankful for a simple app on my phone that has connected me to
Yeah.
thousands of people that I truly love and care about, and that I've met that are in my life all the time.
You mentioned that, and I know everybody that has been there for the journey for you and your fiance, they know it's a beautiful thing, right? I mean, it's inspiring to be able to know that no matter what, it's out there in the world, right? And that's so
Absolutely.
exciting. And obviously sometimes those journeys don't work. I mean, I fell in love with someone and gave it my best and it didn't work out for me. And that person was about 400 or 500 miles away from me, not 4,000. But we do these adventures and we find these people in places that we would have never found them, and we enjoy the things that we go through. And that's the beautiful things that we get out of these things, like where you're talking about your beginnings
Yeah.
came from. You have the hard beginning, but you're having a beautiful ending. You're getting like the fairy tale thing. But
Uh, it's like the right now. It's just living in the moment and just, my son wrote me a song the other day, and Lachelle heard him sing it actually on my live.
ah,
And
I hate
he
when I miss those.
and it is so beautiful, and it makes me just feel like no matter what I feel in the moment, if I'm going through something, if I'm just like hard on myself, excuse me, anything, excuse me, but I rely on my kids' love just as much as they rely on mine, probably
Yeah.
even more. But he wrote me a song. He said, "Hey, mom," he called me, said, "Hey, mama, I wrote you a song. I stayed up all night working on it." And it was on a weekend, you guys. And I was like, okay. So he was waiting for me to get home, and I got home, and he was like, "Okay, are you ready?" He came in my room, and he got music to it, and he's looking at his lyrics, and he sung it to me. And the name of it is called Dear Mom.
Aw.
And in there it says, our scars made us who we are, but you will always be my brightest star.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And I
I
don't think
mean,
he realizes how true that is in reverse, because I know they're your life. You spend all day, every day, you know,
mhm,
just I don't want to use the word catering, but that's kind of what we do for our kids, right? We cater
right.
to them. We do whatever
Yeah,
they need.
taxi
Hey, mom, I,
service,
I need to go to
laundry
school. I need to go to
service,
work.
chef. I mean, you name it. That's what we do. Doctors.
Right.
Moms have all kinds of trades, seamstress. And I
So,
didn't even know that I knew how to sew like that, but I figured it out.
girl, Lachelle said, and she corrected herself in some of the other comments, but she said it was so gorgeous. I listened to it, and she said 2 times in a row. LOL. Um,
Yes, she did.
there was another beautiful comment that was put on here. Aware and Rise says, failure is a personal standard of perception due to being told by others that you are not good enough, but God says you are enough.
Thank
And of
you.
course, Neil, I love you, Neil. Thank you for coming in here. Neil says, Amen to that.
Thank
Um,
you, Neil.
we did have one more that was a little bit further back here. We're going to come look at this one real quick. It says, what has been your biggest personal sacrifice?
Um, sacrifice. I would say I've made a lot of sacrifices in my life. For me, uh, I had kids, at a young age, and I would never, ever, ever take my kids back at all. The journey led me here, but I think moms in general sacrifice a lot, their emotions, their thoughts, what they're going
Mhm.
through, so you don't have to show the weight of the world is really heavy. So probably it would probably be in that realm of things, because I try to keep things separate with my kids, and I never want them to say, "Hey, mom, I'll help you on a bill," or, "Hey, mom, I want to go work. Can I get homeschooled?" The life is hard, in
Mhm.
any sense. It doesn't matter how much you make. If you're in a certain bracket most of your life, and it's not all about material things or this, that, or the other. The struggle is seen. So I would say sacrifice is a lot of sacrifices. Not going to college. I'm so sorry. I don't know why that happened.
It's okay.
Or modeling. I missed two big modeling um, lanes that I could have went down. I
Right.
wouldn't say it was a sacrifice, but my life could have went a whole nother way. But I'm very thankful that I didn't go on those excursions, I guess you would say, to
Right.
go for modeling. And my life was a mom at, you know, pregnant at, 17 and a half, had my oldest at 18. But
Right.
there's a lot of sacrifices that I've made.
So, I don't try to go in people's heads too often, but sometimes it just happens. And as you were talking about that, I kept seeing the word time come to me. And it's not a I wish I had more time for myself. It's not. But I literally, as you were saying the end of this, I hear you saying, I wish I would have had more time to be there, more time to spend with them. Um, and as you're talking about your sacrifice, you're saying, you would never give up your kids, which I don't think any mother would. Is this just the thing in us? But I also know for myself, anyways, for mothers who have children at a young age, I've heard a lot of them tell me that I would never give up my kids, but I would tell another young woman to wait, to take that
Absolutely.
time for themselves to enjoy that part of their lives.
Absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. Every person that ever watches this, and I'm a very big advocate on that, because waiting is important. You're going to be loved in your life
Mhm.
regardless. People are going to gravitate towards you. You're going to find who you are. Finding who you are is so important, because it fast tracks whenever you
Mhm.
have kids at a young age. You fast track life. And yes, Christina, time on a lot of things
Yeah,
is
because I mean,
is correct.
when you're working 2 or 3 jobs, and you have to take that time away from your kids to go to the job, or you have to take that time away from yourself where you were going to have a self-care day, or
Yeah.
like that's the things that are coming to me when you were talking about that.
And I have three adult kids. I have a 21-year-old, November 7th, a 20-year-old, he just turned 20, an 18-year-old, 17, 15, and 16, and a grandbaby. So I have three adult kids. Time has flown by so fast. And they grew. We all grew up together, and I was a young mom, and we grew up together, and it was not easy by no means. Um, but my son is also a young parent.
Hmm.
And it wasn't planned, it just happened. Even though I did the mom talk, and I did the all of that, being proactive, all of these things, you just don't know. You think you know, but you don't know.
That's
So if
right.
if you have parents that are active in your life and they're actively, bringing awareness to you, and they're trying to, just let you know their experiences, even if they have or haven't experienced it, just listen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just open up and listen, because it does fast track your life. I would not, absolutely adore my grandson, to the fullest. And I never left my son's side. I told him, and when I seen him crying, in the dark, sitting on the bed, whew, he told me, he said, Mama, he said, and crying, very, very lots of tears. He said, how am I going to raise a kid? I don't know how to be a dad. How am I going to be a dad? In that moment, I could have flipped all out, and I could have reacted, in a horrible way, and it could have led to a lot of other different things,
But you
right? That could have been
didn't.
bad. No, I know I didn't. I
I know
I
you
cried with
didn't.
him. I cried with him, and I'm not gonna lie. I'm human. I'm a mom. Was I upset? Yes. Was I
Right.
mad? A little, but when I seen him so vulnerable in that moment, I couldn't. I just had to be a mom and just say, no matter what, son, we're gonna do this together, and I am never leaving your side.
Yeah.
I got you. And I haven't. And Kai is what we needed in our life. Everyone else's life is different, but yeah, just wait. If y'all can, just wait.
Yeah, and something that a lot of times I get to say to the parents, but I don't always get to say it to the kids. When our brain is evolving, our frontal cortex, which is the part that decides our impulsive decisions, it's not fully developed until we're 25. And that's why I always tell people, I'm like, kids should not be let go when they're 18. They should be like kept at home until they're at least 25, because mom and dad can make that decision and go, hey, that's probably not a good idea. Let's sit here for 5 minutes and think about it. Where the kid is going to sit there because, again, that frontal cortex is going, yeah, go, 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 go do it right
Yes,
now.
I Queen, I know. And I think we just went over the discussion not long ago, because I am like, okay, everyone, I love everybody. I'm love, light, and kindness. But the government, I don't like the fact that when you're 18, they consider you a grown adult,
Yes.
that you are unleashed to the world. You know how to go buy your own home. You know how to do your taxes. You know how to
Right.
balance a checkbook. You know how to
Right.
do all the life things. No, you don't.
Mm-mm.
No, you don't.
And the
And
education
I'm
system does not teach them these things. They still need mama and daddy for it, okay?
I just I wished it wasn't that case, right? But even though my kids turn 18, and I know a lot of parents do this, just because you're 18 don't mean you're an adult.
That's right.
Because,
Girl, when my kid
and
is
I tell
30, I'm
them
going to tell her, no,
that.
she's not.
Yeah, my daughter, she'll call me, and she's in college, and she'll be like, Mom, so do you think I might go here? And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. Probably. She's like, so it's probably a no. I'm like, it's a definite no. But I love the fact that you can
That's so
bond with your
awesome.
kids like that, and they
Yes.
value what you're telling them, and they at least listen, if not all the way, some of the way.
Yes.
It's better than none.
Exactly. There was a comment a little while ago. I'm going to go back to this one real quick. Kev had put it on here, and he was talking about when you were talking about your grandmother. He said, I completely feel that with my dad. Um, why is it not coming up? There we go. Maybe. I don't know. I was trying to put it up there. It doesn't want to come up. But he says, I completely feel that with my dad. Nothing replaces the love and the presence. And I just wanted to let you know that, that we don't all feel the same thing, but there are people out there with similar journeys, and it's always okay to go talk to those people and share those things. There
Right.
was another one right here. Aware and Rise said, can we hear your son sing a song on your show sometime?
Um, well, I absolutely would love that. it's something that may possibly be in the works. I'll just keep y'all wanting more. My, but definitely got some ideas. You definitely, in my mind, your inspiration of things you have told me regarding my son, and then just things that have just been kind of evolving. There's some things that are in the works that you guys don't want to miss.
That sounds absolutely amazing. Um, Boy, Aware and Rise is full of questions tonight. I love it. He says, where do you see your journey taking you forward?
Um, well, for me, I see lots of love, kindness. And I know it's not just for me. It's for the greater of all humanity. I feel like there's still hope in humanity for kindness and love, and not just sitting on the edge right there and ready to just, you know, I would say get angry at somebody so easily. You can kind of back yourself off, and a lot of times people don't. They're right there on that edge, and for me, I think moving forward, um, just creating more bonds and creating a strength, a foundation, um, and like my Mary.MotherTrucker outreach and EFC foundation, that's in the works. But oh, who is that? I don't know. Aware and Rise. I keep thinking you're someone else. My apologies. My apologies, but I see a lot of purposeful media, lots of bonds being created, and a lot of love and kindness.
So you mentioned purposeful media. And of course, I think you want to plug us as much as I want to plug us.
Yes.
So myself, Kev, and you, we all came together and we formed Elevate Souls Productions. Where do you see Elevate Souls going, and what do you want to let your viewers know about us?
Well, absolutely love Elevate Souls Productions, because, like Christina said, it's not just for us, it's for everyone to elevate, you know, get on a higher frequency, enjoy your life. Don't let life live you. You can live your own life.
Right.
So it's it's a place where people can come. We are a live creator network, and we have podcast. So there's opportunities. You know what I mean? Even if you think that people aren't going to be interested in you, or you don't know what your niche is on TikTok, or there's tons of agents that we already have that are amazing at what they do. If it
Yes.
was not a bullseye on some of them, but I know of one of them that is absolutely amazing at what he does. He is born for this, and he is a great agent. So we have opportunities for the Creator Network, and it's free to join. So what better than free? And then you can, build your foundation, with guidance and through our network, and then you can also earn money. So what better way to want? You know what I mean? That's
Right.
amazing.
And yeah, so for the people who are listening and don't completely understand all of that, we are a live creator network on TikTok right now.
Mhm.
We do eventually plan on expanding that, but as of right now, it's on TikTok. We are US and Canada based. And what we do is exactly what she's talking about. We come, we support you, we advocate for you. We teach you how to grow. We do all the great things to help you become an influencer if that's what you want, or if you just simply want to be a content creator that goes and hangs out with your friends on there sometimes, we'll help you with that too. And then exactly what we're doing right now, podcast.
Yep.
If you have a voice that needs to be heard and you have a good idea, we'd love to put you on the screen and let you say what you need to say to the world. This is a dream that Mary and I had, and we've been so blessed to be able to put it together. And it's gone so fast. I know Mary is definitely in the whirlwind of it. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm spinning around
Yeah.
backwards. Christina, what are you doing right now? Kev, what are you doing right now? But I'm gonna tell you, she feels like it's just her. It's all of us, all three of us. We're
Yeah.
like, wow, this was a universal alignment, right? Because everything just fell into place perfectly. We didn't have to fight for anything. And when you don't have to fight for anything, it's meant.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful. We have some amazing people coming onto the network. So excited to work with them. We have a couple of little things over here. Let's see. Kev said, what we do is for everyone: change, love, light, and kindness, because those are the freest things. And yes, I completely agree with that. He said, don't forget the music distribution side of it too. Look, if y'all want to talk about music distribution, yes, Elevate Souls does it. You can come to Mary or myself if you want to, but I'm going to tell you right now, we're probably going to direct you to Kevin Emery down there, because he is the what is it, world record holding global musical sensation.
Yeah. He
So
does
we're
have
gonna
a
let
world record. Yes. And
yes,
he literally created it, wrote the lyrics, produced it, mastered it all in 23 hours and some change. And I know this because I was with him on that journey. And it was absolutely beautiful to see his mind work. He's so creative, and he's really a lyrical genius. But what he does do that's different, I feel like, than a lot, it kind of separates him from other artists, is the fact that, um, one, he's very spiritual person, and then there he puts some, I think, 0.1 hertz
yep,
underlining
the
in
God
the
note, yep.
Divine album. Yeah, and it's very beautiful. If you guys don't know, now you know. Go check him
Right.
out. He is
Go
on
check
all
him out.
platforms. We have dropped a brand new album not too long ago. It's Ortiz Emery, Drunk on You, and I wrote 4 of the songs that are on the album and helped produce it, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of in alignment of our love story, our journey, and what's to come. It's absolutely beautiful.
I completely agree with you. He did put some other comments. He said it was an incredible day for sure. You are all too kind. We love you. And then he said it is giving the biggest shunt to make up for the time. And it's incredible what's happening. He's going back and talking about the agency part of it. And then, of course, we have Aware and Rise over here saying, go ahead and contact MB50.1 if you need a TikTok agent. He does work for our network. He is very awesome at what he does. So he's getting a little shout out there. I have one more big question for you, Mary, before I let you end your own show. It's fun to be the producer and the guest at the same time.
Right. I love it though.
I have heard some rumors that you are going to be doing, what is it called? Mary.MotherTrucker outreach and awareness. Is that what it is?
It's Mary Mother Trucker Outreach and EFC Foundation. It is something that I have wanted for a very long time, to give back to the community, anybody, but mostly in rural communities, because I live in rural areas and there's not a lot of outreach. There is, and I'm grateful for what we have, but it's not enough. And if you make over the threshold, you don't get the help. It's
Right.
like I just want it to be open, and I'll drive my semi truck with Mary Mother Trucker Outreach EFC on the side of it to rural communities filled with tons of stuff. And I just want people to just not stress about certain things that, we can all give back. Kindness is the freest thing. Absolutely. Aw, thank you, Kev. You're amazing. I do appreciate that. He said you are incredible in your own lyrics. I do appreciate that. But that's kind of where the foundation portion, I want to go, and also with transitional housing, because I feel like we just need more. So Christina, I do appreciate you coming on with me and being a queen that you are. I have so much love for you. Everyone that is in the comments, I appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. You do not know how much it means to not only myself for the Out of My Zone podcast, but it also means so much to Christina and Kev, because we're building this from the ground up and we need you guys. You know what I
That's
mean? We
right.
need your love and support, and we will give it back tenfold because we love each and every one of you guys. If you guys do not know, you can follow me at Mary.MotherTrucker on the TikTok platform, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms. Christina, where can they find you at?
You can find me, Christina Allwitchy, on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and I think that I might have got all of them. But I'm listed as Allwitchy on all of them. And I'm not doing my podcast this Wednesday because, as y'all can hear, I'm still a little bit congested. I'm about 90% over the sickness. But I will be back on November 6th. We have an amazing guest scheduled. I can't wait to interview him.
Yes, and it's going to be beautiful. And I'm so excited. I'll leave y'all wanting more, but there's going to be some promo videos in the TikTok side of things and YouTube. So keep an eye out. Also, you can follow us at www.elevatesoulsproductions.com. That is our website. You can also follow me on the safe space at www.marymothertrucker outreach.com. And I just want everybody to know that if you do want to be showcased on one of the Out of My Zone podcast shows, please reach out to me. If you are a small business, if you are a small charity in the works, or if you just have something that you want to talk about that has changed your life in a significant way and you're giving back, please reach out to me. I will communicate back with you. Thank you guys for coming to the Out of My Zone podcast. I love you so much, and I will see you in a week. You'll have a blessed night. Bye, everybody.